So I wonder, that had to be like 2015. So I wonder if he was looking for more people to join his team at that point in 2015.
Interesting, yeah.
Because nothing was announced yet.
No.
Right? And this is apparently the program ended in 2012, which they say no, it continued for some years afterwards. But I think I felt like that's why he was there, because it was so odd. Like it was just
So do we?
Nobody really knew why he was there.
Do we think that this Into the Stars? What is it? The TTSA, whatever it is.
To the Stars
To
Academy
the Stars
of
Academy.
Arts and Science.
Do we think that this was a completely altruistic group that kind of set up to really dive into the truth and get it out there?
Yes, I think it is.
Some people talk, getting back into conspiracy, talk about that as like this disinformation arm of some sort of...
Okay.
But, I like to believe...
I think Tom DeLonge has honest intentions.
Yeah.
I think the people in this organization, if you watch History Channel and see who they are and what they've researched before and the incidents that have happened, are all the authentic people. Interesting side note on all this, which I think is a discussion we should talk about, is it is kind of fear-based, because the whole thing with Luis, how do you pronounce his name? Elizondo.
Yeah.
The whole thing with him, and it's subtle, but it's there. It's definitely fear-based, that we don't know what they are. They're in our atmosphere. The U.S. military is scared of it. They don't know what it is, and the public should be aware that there's something in our atmosphere that we don't know what it is, and we need to do something about it. It's not like a positive mystery kind of thing. It's not like done in this lens. It's subtly negative. If you watch the History Channel program, it's really interesting. You're engaged the whole time, but the whole time you're thinking to yourself, and it's very careful, but it's definitely negative. And the one person in the space that I followed for a long time, who I have a hot-cold relationship with in my own mind, who I do respect, is Dr. Stephen Greer. And originally, when this came out in 2017, and it came out that these videos came out and they seemed authentic before the Navy even authenticated that these videos are real, which they have 100%. Yes, folks, there is ships in our atmosphere that they don't know what it are. They're performing in ways that are unbelievable. Dr. Greer came out and said, be careful. And I was mad at him at first. I was like, oh, Greer, you're trying to steal the spotlight. Be careful. It's a fear-based system, and they're trying to set you up for something. And at first I was like, what are you talking about, Greer? But now that you go into it, if you really think about it, what does Greer talk about? What does Carol Rosin talk about in Werner von Braun? Werner von Braun was from Operation Paperclip, a German scientist that ran our space fucking program. Right. What did he say to Carol Rosin, who's in the Disclosure Project? That there's a series of steps that these people in power are going to do to put fear to weaponize space. The last step after warring countries, terrorism, one-off crazy people is a fake alien invasion, fear from space, so we can weaponize space.
Project
this entire
Blue
thing,
Beam?
Yes. This entire thing is disclosure. It is happening, so that's exciting. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, my little boy, it's exciting. They're going to talk about it. But it's coming out the wrong way. I'm sorry. Aliens that are super advanced, a million years ahead of us, aren't coming here to steal our DNA or butt probe us or steal our fucking genetics. They're not doing that. That's ridiculous if you think about it. And I do kind of agree with them now that this is a clever, soft disclosure to get people ready for it. At the same time, a slight fear factor to it to get you worried so they can use it as a reason to weaponize space.
Well, I do agree with that. I do agree with Carol Rosin.
I mean, it's a heck of a comment.
Yeah, but however, I don't think, you can't, rationalize all alien stuff, because there's the invasion of LA that happened in the 40s.
The battle for LA.
Nothing happened after that. Nobody was weaponizing space, until that point, right? That doesn't mean that they haven't already done it, but they're creating a case for it.
Dr. Greer's whole spiel is that all ETs are inherently benevolent and they're here to help us, and it's like, dark arms of the military that are doing all the evil shit? Is that kind of his take on it? Am I correct there?
Yeah, it's all about socioeconomic. It's all about controlling energy systems and controlling the planet. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Hey, there's a lot of truth to that, but I just don't know if I...
I think that anything from space is all good or all bad. I just can't believe that. I just can't.
It's too black and white.
It's such like a typical way of a human looking at, okay, well, they're got to be good because they came down here and gave me a candy bar versus they're bad because they probed me in the butt. Like, what?
Some people like
No,
it.
Like, how
I
do you
couldn't
even
disagree
know?
more. I think something.
Some people like a good butt
I disagree
probe. I
so
don't know.
bad with that. Like,
Some people do like it in the
just
butt.
think
that's
about
right.
it, guys. Just think about it. If you're
Oh,
like
boy.
thousands of years advanced and you have technology that can solve all problems, why would you be a dick? Like, why would you show up and fucking butt probe people and try? Like, what are they doing? They're doing it really slowly. Take us over. They're not. Like, it would have happened already.
well,
like, it would have
again-
happened. Like, what's going on? It's not even fucking real. It's ridiculous.
Again, we're looking at it from a human point of view. Like, who knows?
But
Who
why,
knows
okay, hold on
what-
a second. Why are humans obsessed with being butt probed? Okay.
Because it's a fear put into us by the
Like
military
Pornhub.
industrial complex.
Because-
Oh,
Greer
no, wait,
talks
sorry.
about it. It's all
About
a
butt
ploy.
probing?
Yes, fake alien abductions. Listen to it. There's a program that even Doty goes into it, and there's documentaries about this. Richard Doty. They talk about
Yeah,
a
that's
fake
right, yeah.
system
Mirage
where they
Men.
abduct people and do weird shit to them to install fear into the subconscious of the population. At the same time, putting out ridiculous movies that make it seem ridiculous, so you're scared and you're also ridiculing it at
Yeah.
the same time. It's all any advanced species. I'm sorry, I don't know. Actually, I don't know any advanced species, but like to me, I just think something a million years ahead of us wouldn't be like showing up and shoving a probe in your ass.
And he's done. He just dropped the mic.
Yeah,
Everybody, he's
he
coming
walked
back.
out.
He's coming back.
He just
Don't
walked
worry.
out. Let's give him a second to cool off. Look, I think you got a point. Good energy. There's a lot of good energy in
There's
this
a lot of
room. I'm
good energy.
feeling
We're
it.
all worked up about
I'm feeling
this.
excited.
I have a lot of opinions about the UFO space and everything, so
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm glad we're-
I just
I'm
like
glad
to
we're talking
stay
about it.
neutral because I feel that it does create a trigger. Like I'm either in danger or I'm just opening myself up to something I don't understand. Like both of that does not sound good to me. So I like to just stay neutral about it. That's why I bring up different points of the article. I think that like there is a point of disclosure happening, but there's also a point of covering something up. Now, whether it's a possible Navy top secret situation or it is a UFO, there is a bit of cover up happening. There's not a real disclosure happening. That's not the truth right now.
Okay, so you agree that disclosure is happening, but it's not what it should be. It's being controlled. I don't
Right.
mind the slow drip. I think that's smart. If I was in some committee that was controlling disclosure about aliens, I think I would probably release it slow to protect people who are really religious or who would have struggle with that, who have no idea, like who think it's so ridiculous. I think I would definitely be careful about how that's placed.
Well, religious structure is our belief system. So if that gets fractured, like how do we restructure? We're not ready to restructure the society yet.
Sure,
right?
I agree with that.
That
Yeah,
creates
yeah.
a
I'm ready,
crack.
but maybe 50 million people aren't.
You know,
Or
I mean, if
plus,
religion
yeah.
is a form of, and this is my personal belief, religion is a form of crowd control, in a way. So to break that down all of a sudden is that could be problematic, you know, to just like just shake up everyone's belief system all of a sudden that they've been indoctrinated.
Yeah, but everyone's
and
scared of that.
believed
I'm
in.
just like, we're ready. Like, break the system. Is it really
Oh
working
yeah, hey,
right
look,
now?
I don't
No.
disagree.
Half the planet's
with,
in poverty. We sit here and we act
Yeah.
and we have great
Yeah.
lives and we don't understand, but most of the world's in abject poverty on a destitute level that's
Right.
unbelievable. I've seen it. Like,
Right.
it's horrifying. Like, we need a shock system. What's going to get worse? Are people going to get poorer? Are we going to stop eating? Are we going to stop, making electricity? No. People are going to be ready for that. It would imagine a world where we're not talking about if aliens are real or not. Imagine we're talking about what does intergalactic trade look like?
Yeah.
Well, and we're all involved. It's not just the governments of the world making the intergalactic trade. Because that's maybe what's happening, right? There's tons of people that talk about that's already happening, that there's bases on the moon and Mars and all this place, and they're mining all these places for minerals and
Oh, yeah.
resources and human resources.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the moon. The moon doesn't change, it doesn't rotate. 2 Russian astronauts in the 70s were like, it's a fucking Death Star. The Star Wars is based off it. It doesn't turn, it doesn't echo. Like, the moon is like clearly alien. Don't get me started.
Okay,
No,
wait, hold
I
on, before we
wanna
go too far.
Get him
And then-
started. Let's do this.
Is that okay?
I already
hold on.
started.
You already started.
I wanna send him
You've been
off.
starting for
It's
a
like
while.
a bull in a china shop right now. Go for it.
All right, so I just want to bring something to everybody's attention, which is also a series on History Channel. They do a whole scripted series of the Project Blue Book. All right, so Project Blue Book,
The scripted show you're talking about.
yeah, the scripted show, but
Yeah.
that's like a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Starting back it started in 1952.
Yep.
It had a couple different names. It was called Project Sign, then it was called Project Grudge, and then eventually it was called Project Blue Book. And so this was a whole bunch of money that the government gave, and they said, okay, go see if these UFOs are real. go investigate all of these reports from all these people. And at the end, after I think they canceled the program in 1968, at the end of it, they said they found no evidence that this was actually a UFO. They said, oh, well, it's just like a planet in the sky. It's a disturbance in the atmosphere. They couldn't prove anything.
That is so offensive to the people who saw things. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go on.
So by the time that the Project Blue Book ended, it had collected 12,618 UFO reports and concluded that most of them were misidentified as natural phenomenon. And that's it. They closed it.
Whoa. Well, go on, though. What did Hynek say after the fact? So J. Edgar Hynek ran that investigation.
Right.
Is this the same
And what did he
group that
say
said
afterwards,
it
though?
was
What did he say?
demonic?
What did he say afterwards? What did he say after this was done?
No, he found evidence that we are definitely not alone.
Yeah. He was a believer at the end of that.
At the end of it. At the beginning, he was not. He was there as a scientist. He was there to be part of the investigation. And then at the end, he's like, he has evidence that they're
He came
not alone.
full circle.
Mm-hmm. But this spawned other programs. This sort of is like a mirror of what's happening with our current situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science and 20 other
Which are
words after
specifically non-governmental. This
Right.
is like supposedly, allegedly,
But
by the people.
But after Project Blue Book, you know what spawned from that was MUFON, which
Yep.
is a privately
Yep.
funded organization where people go and they collect UFO reports.
Heroes.
But
love
that was
MUFON.
because no one was doing it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I think To the Stars is a little bit more backed and funded than MUFON, because MUFON is basically people with passion trying to get to the bottom of these reports. But it's kind of like there's a mirror happening. People are not willing to just let things go, right? The government starts the ball rolling. They're like, okay, see if it's a national security threat. And they're like, no, it's not. It's not real, whatever. And people are like, no, there's something real. I want to find the truth.
Yeah.
So look, it happened like how many years ago, and it's happening again. It's like we're just recycling the same pattern.
So you think
I
this
see
will
what you're
eventually
saying.
just kind of die off and we'll just forget about it again? Or?
Well,
I mean,
Nope, I don't think so.
If
This is
people-
the age of the internet, so this thing is like blowing up
Right.
everywhere. Whereas back in the day, it may have been a news story here and there, and then it didn't.
But then it can
didn't
go
reach.
away.
It didn't reach a wide audience as
Right.
as this thing today is,
Right, I
is
agree.
reaching. So
No, I totally, I kind of disagree. No, disclosure is happening. It's all about how it's framed now. Is it going to be for the people?
But Matt's right. People are really in tune now. They can't just hide away in some town and never hear about it. Like everyone's on the internet.
Yeah, totally.
So the government has to do something. So they were like, oh yeah, here's the videos. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And then did anybody freak out? No. Did the structures of our society crumble? No.
it was interesting.
Yeah, because most people don't care. Most people are ready for it. That's the big thing that's happening right now. People are so scared about it, but most people are ready for it now. It's been a slow build since the 80s and 70s and 90s with UFO movies and all these articles, and slowly we're getting there. It's like creep up to it. The question is it going to be dark or is it going to be positive?
Yeah.
And it's our job to be positive about it and not give in to weird alien butt-probing, fucking fear-based bullshit.
Tell you what, on that note, let's take a quick break. I'm going to pour another glass of wine, or beer. Actually, what have I got here? Beer. And we'll come back with what we think reactions to this thing will be. I was sitting with my wife and we were watching some news broadcast of, because I was like, I couldn't believe that this just dropped, that the Navy said, hey, yeah, this is real. And so we watched, I can't even remember what it was now. One of the news channels, news anchor was
They all covered it.
talking about it, and it was super serious, and it was super heavy. It was almost like it dropped. The ball dropped, and we were both like, holy shit, this is actually happening. This is real.
It's disclosure.
Yeah.
That's funny. I
So
didn't feel that way at all.
Really?
Really?
No, because I always feel that everything that I read on the news isn't exactly what the story is.
Of course.
So I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't even take it in emotionally, because if I do, then I can't actually see the big picture.
What, you didn't get excited when
No.
like Fox News, even Tucker Carlson and his like bow tie was talking about UFOs and how
Oh
it
wow!
could be
I
real?
super get excited when Tucker Carlson is talking. I'm like, oh, your bow tie. So cute.
Yeah. It's totally, yeah.
No, that's how I felt. I thought it was really interesting. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? I want to know what's really happening.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but to me, I want